Governor and my governor, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, Their Excellencies, the governors of Anambra, Abia, Enugu, I'm waiting for Ebo, the President General of Ohanaeze Igbo worldwide, former governors, governors, federal presidents, the Abogi, the Obi of Onitsha, and other traditional rulers, eminent religious leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We have a long way to go today, and we're going to be very fast. On behalf of the planning committee, I welcome all of you to Owerri, the capital city of the Heartland State. Today is a historic day. When you see the governors of the Southeast, the President General and the Executive of Ohanaeze Igbo, traditional rulers, the cream of the business community, the clergy, notable women and youth, people at all levels of society, when you see them gathered together, you know that something historic is about to happen. Ndi Igbo are here today to find solutions to existential problems facing our homeland, the Southeast Zone, a place known for its peace and power, its energy, its industry and innovation, is facing relentless insecurity. This has impacted on the lives of the people and the once bubbling economy of the Southeast region. The Southeast governors have been grappling with this distraction to the region's advancement. Today, they have called you here not for lamentations, but to join the search for solutions. When I was asked to organize a summit on behalf of the Southeast governors by the initiator, the chairman of the Governors Forum, Governor Hope Uzodimma, it was clear that it was not going to be easy. But I was glad to take it on, because like most daughters of Igbo land, I was very worried about how the zone was shaping. Starting with some and Iwan, we were able to gather a formidable team of 65 experts, intellectuals, high-level technocrats, and professionals in rare fields, scattered all over the world. They have been working intensely for over 3 months, sacrificing their time and talent to study the problem of insecurity and its impact on the economy, and designing a way forward for the Southeast. As part of our methodology and work plan, research committees were set up. We have done the deep dive into the challenges we face. We have our findings. This summit is meant to harvest the views and suggestions of the people to further enrich the work already done by the committees, which we'll discuss tomorrow. So that at the end of the day, what we hand over to governors will reflect the voices of the people of the Southeast region. I cannot thank enough the men and women of the committees of the summit. Some have abandoned their regular jobs for weeks now to focus exclusively on this project. They have come from the United States, Britain, South Africa, as far away as Australia, and all over Nigeria to deliver this project. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no problem we have in the Southeast region that we cannot solve if we come together with single-minded focus and a strong sense of togetherness. I want to thank God for seeing us through to this day, and especially seeing all of you here safely. I thank the governors of the Southeast for the confidence they repose on the team during the course of this work. Working for brilliant bosses who are high achievers in their own right is not an easy thing, because you cannot get away with any sloppiness. I want to deeply appreciate the governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodimma, for passing this idea of the summit and funding its execution to the hilt, which made our work very easy and hassle-free. Thank you, Governor Hope Uzodimma. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, welcome to the summit, and please join the project team in applauding the new age governors of the Southeast for taking this bold step on behalf of me.
President General of our dear Chief Host, His Excellency Governor Hope Uzodimma of Imo State, His Excellency Governor Peter Mbah of Imo State, His Excellency Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State, His Excellency Governor Alex Otti of Abia State. I am informed that my own governor, His Excellency Governor Francis Nwifuru, is on his way. Your Royal Majesty, Obogudin Emeka Achebe, the Queen of Furniture, and other royal fathers present. My Lord, most Archbishop Raphael Oboko, and other members of the clergy present. Honorable Minister of State for Labour, Honorable Iruka Lee Georgia, my own brother and friend, most distinguished Senator Adolphus Wabara, former President of the Senate. Your Excellency, distinguished Senator General, former Governor of Imo State, Ike Nwachukwu, distinguished Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, distinguished Senator Uche Ndubuife, distinguished Senator Ben Obi, and the whole lot of other members of the National Assembly I am not able to identify. Former Governor Hakeem of Imo State and the whole lot of other former governors, former ministers, and former members of the National Assembly present. Heads of security agencies present, Honorable Mr. Josephine Anene, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on all of the existing protocols this August summit. This gathering today, to my recollection, is the first of its kind in a long time. What comes close to this kind of gathering, where all the men and women in public and private levels are assembled together, was the Ahijoko lecture series that has not held for a long time. So let me therefore thank most profoundly our dear governors under the aegis of the Southeast Governors Forum for demonstrating leadership by convening this summit. I would like to thank the leadership of Ohaneze Ndigbo, under its President General, Chief Dr. Emmanuel Iwanya, CFR, for supporting this summit and mobilizing our people to attend. I have special thanks for the summit organizing committee, headed by our own dear district senator, Ms. Anyang. I thank you all. I congratulate you. As we are gathered today, we acknowledge that we as Ndi, like the rest of Nigeria, are facing very serious security and economic challenges. We are here to show our collective will, our determination and our solidarity in the search for solutions to our challenges. Above all, we are here to send a clear message to our people at home and abroad, and to our fellow Nigerians, that the Igbo nation strives to become more cohesive in order to be more effective in contributing its quota in the search for national consensus on refugee, peace, and development. The theme of this summit can never be more apt. Southeast Beyond 2023 time for us, as it focuses on the security and economic realities of ground. Accordingly, I believe that this summit presents to us a platform for deeper reflection on our situation, and more particularly on what should be our best approaches and attitudes going forward. Let me state upfront that in this summit today, we need deeper reflection on how best to pursue our rightful place in the Nigerian Federation. We must reconsider our present direction of development, that is, our social and economic priorities and choices. And lastly, we must agree on how to further engage our young brothers and sisters involved in Biafran agitation to reconsider the idea, because no wise man goes to war with himself. Hence, after the war, you either kill yourself or wound yourself back. Ladies and gentlemen, I am also aware that our local governors have set out in their respective states to address most of the issues we are going to discuss in this summit. For instance, I am aware that in addition to the security initiative in each and every Southeast state, His Excellency Governor Chukwuma Soludo just held an agro-economic summit. Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State just had economic roundtable. Governor Hope Uzodimma of Imo State is developing a new economic corridor in Abuja. Governor Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State is developing a new industrial and youth enterprise program. And Governor Lex of Abia State is reviving Aba as a new economic corridor. Consequently, this summit is not intended to dish out directives is not intended to dish out directives to our governors, but rather to create a platform to share new ideas and understanding on areas of collaborations and integration. In view of the above, I shall therefore only randomly pinpoint a few of my observations which the summit will wish to consider. 1. In the 1960s, the economy of Southeast was rated the fastest growing regional economy in the world due to the pragmatic and planned economic policies of the then Michael Obama administration. At that time, we had not just the rise of industries, but planned industrial corridors or industrial estates, if you like, all over Eastern Nigeria. All the corridors were serviced by the then governments with roads, water, electricity, and so forth. Worthy of mention among others are Aba Industrial Estate, Transamadi Industrial Estate, MNA Industrial Estate, Aba Industrial Corridor in Mumbai, Cashew Plantation, Oil Palm Plantation, and so on. From these industrial estates, we have Golden Guinea Breweries, Modern Ceramics Industries, Aba Glass Industries, Nigerian Breweries Industries, BZ Industries, Eagle Cement in Calabar, Portland Cement in Calabar, Amaraku Power Station, the first independent power plant in Nigeria, and so on. But since 1999, that's about 24 years ago, the attention of our governments have shifted. No government in Eastern Nigeria has considered it needful to service industrial corridors and attract private sector investors to set up factories in those corridors. The implication of this is the constriction of employment opportunities for young school leavers whose numbers are multiplied. According to James Moore, the most dangerous position of any society is the man who has nothing to lose. This may be the reason for the upsurge of crime and criminality in our zone. In the words of Dr. Kennedy, every society gives the kind of criminals they deserve. We need to rethink our development priorities in accordance with the needs of the moment and make bold to say that policy choices and prioritization are fundamental responsibility of leadership. Two, in the 1970s and 80s, Southeast was known for its special entrepreneurship apprenticeship system. It was one of the most unique and fastest growing of its kind in the world. It is therefore ironic that as this system is beginning to catch global attention for serious study and wider application, it is now under severe stress in our country. To also matters, successive governments cared little about the collapse of technical secondary schools, which would have supported our budding entrepreneurs. It is my honest recommendation that we should collectively re-engineer this entrepreneurial system, make it fit for the changing times, and ensure that it remains one of our unique contributions to the new global economic direction. Third, as a young Nigerian leader, I was privileged to learn at the feet of many of our elders. The late Super Commandant Secretary Alliance, Ahmed Joda, was one of them. He once told me that the first generation Nigerian universities were planned and built as part of the National Economic Plan. According to him, before any university was built, a 5-year plan was factored into the National Economic Plan to accommodate their graduates. The courses and curriculum of those universities will also tailor to areas of national needs. That was why jobs were waiting for the graduates even before they concluded their studies. Today, we do not undertake such rigorous planning to continuously align our educational system with our national or regional needs. This, no doubt, is part of the reason for the unprecedented unemployment with the consequential effect of insecurity in our zone. I call for a rethink. Educational institutions should be an integral part of the socio-economic agenda of our governments. Accordingly, educational institutions should be planned as an economic institution with the aim to solve or set economic goals. 4. I observed that in the 1960s, government officials and representatives struggled to make ends meet. But today, the shortest cut to affluence and fame is to have access to government appointments of elected as an honorable member. This has created an unhealthy competition in the politics of our time, leading to the militarization of our political processes and its consequential effect on insecurity. We need a rethink because the arms used during elections do not decay hereafter. 5. There is clearly a nexus between the current high level of insecurity in the Southeast and the fact that some criminal elements are unleashing mayhem under the cover of agitation for Biafra. We must emphasize that the circumstances that led to Biafra agitation in 1967 is not the same as what is happening today. Therefore, we must endeavor to point out the difference in the present agitation. Today, we do not have anything that in any way approximates to the situation in 1967. There is absolutely no consensus on the purpose, content, method, and boundaries of today's Biafra agitation. I therefore call for a rethink by all those involved in this agitation. In rethinking the Biafra agitation, we need to honestly articulate what have been the outcomes or impact of the agitation so far. For example, in my own opinion, in the last 4 years, every Monday had been declared by some non-state actors as sit-at-home day. The enforcement had been brutal, leading to enormous loss of lives and property. It is estimated that hundreds of lives and hundreds of billions of naira have been lost to the sit-at-home order and its enforcement. 2, life has become very difficult in the Southeast, and almost every successful person in the Southeast is in self-exile. If care is not taken, very soon, none of us will come home, no matter the number of security personnel you have. 3, social and economic activities have been dislocated, businesses have collapsed, no social activity can any longer safely take place in the zone, and no new businesses have been attracted to the zone. If care is not taken, very soon, every means of livelihood in the zone may dry up. Heavy arms and ammunition have become instruments of political campaigns, resulting in gross voter apathy. If care is not taken, very soon, Southeast will lose national political relevance as votes from Southeast will no longer be of any consequence. Crime and criminality have become widespread in Southeast because common criminals have taken advantage of the agitation to advance their evil enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, in view of the above, I call for the following actions. We must articulate and put on record the human, material, and social losses occasioned by this insecurity. These data are built to the senses of our young men and women who are involved in this agitation, and who may have been underestimating the impact and consequences of the carnage. The data may also attract the sympathy of those who are in a position to help us out. 2, we must, as leaders, state very clearly and put on record our common position on this agitation. 3, we must be bold to identify and put on record our position on the causes and solutions to this insecurity in the Southeast. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, mine is to welcome you to this summit. But in addition, let me urge you to speak up. We must go out of here. We must go out of here with clear vision and direction of where we are going and how and when to get there. We must not wait this rare opportunity. Again, I say, indeed, the day is today and the time is now. I thank you all.
The former Senate President event where we are trying to create Silicon Valley in Owerri, where thousands of Owerri Imo State youth can command the world and be part of the global village right on their back. Thank you for thinking about the future. And so without much ado, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's therefore my pleasure and honor to welcome here the Governor of Imo State and Chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma.
Of Nigeria, the Honorable Ministers, the Minister of Science and Technology, Chief Uchenna Naji, the Minister of State Labor, Employment and Productivity, Right Honorable Kiru Onyedocha, the Chief of Defense Staff, ably represented by Major General Parker, on their day, the Chief of Defense Intelligence, National Security Advisor, ably represented by Major General Okechukwu, retired, the Zonal Coordinator, National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, the Chief of Army Staff, ably represented by our able Major General H.T. Dada, the GOC 2 Division and Jet Army, the Chief of Naval Staff, ably represented by Rear Admiral USA Chugali, the FOC commanding Central Naval Command. I must inform this august audience that the service chiefs are engaged with a national assignment that coincided with this date, and that is why they are all represented, including our own dear Chief of Naval Staff. The Royal Fathers of the day, His Majesty the Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Alfred Echebe, and other Royal Highnesses in our midst, the Chairman, Imo State Council of Traditional Rulers, Eze Isi Okeke, the Chairman, Imo State Council of Elders, His Royal Highness Eze C.I. Ilomaya, distinguished Igbo leaders, elder statesmen, great Igbo business moguls, and the academia, and also the private sector investors, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government and people of Imo State, I most humbly welcome my brother governors, His Excellency the Governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Oti, His Excellency the Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, His Excellency the Governor of Enugu State, Chief Peter Mba, the Governor of Ebonyi State, who is not here yet, is on his way, was tied up with a meeting in Abuja that lasted throughout the night. It is my hope that before the end of this first session, he will either be here or his deputy governor will be here. I want to thank all of us here gathered for coming to honor us with your presence. I want to also thank all of the organizing committee for a wonderful performance they were able to display in organizing and putting this function together. May I also welcome other stakeholders here, the clergy, leaders of our church, Ndieze, the intelligentsia, political juggernauts, our serving and retired security personnel, our dependable women leaders, our resilient youths. I did not forget members of the National Assembly who came all the way from Abuja to participate in this ceremony. In those days, when our people took their destiny in their hands, and they did not wait for government to provide all their needs, decisions on the educational, economic and developmental goals of the communities were taken at gatherings such as this. And that was how schools, town halls, and other infrastructure were built in the Southeast. And that was how intelligent but indigent students were sent abroad on scholarships. And that was how cooperative societies were set up to aid the commercial needs of our members. For me, this summit heralds a glorious new dawn. I pray that it shall stimulate and grow the creative energy we need to forge a lasting synergy among Ndi Igbo. I know our town unions are doing their best to keep Igbo kindred's spirit alive. But we all know that the threat is weakened. As for the government, we all have nostalgic feelings about the First Republic, the era of late Michael Okpara, the astronomical growth of the economy of the Eastern Nigeria, when palm produce was the mainstay of the economy, when agriculture combined with industrialization to catapult the East to the enviable status of the fastest growing economy in the entire country. It appears that our noble men of history understood the timeless Igbo philosophy that says you should come man and age. They also knew that cohesion and vision were essential drivers of progress and development. We may need to pause for a while to identify what has really gone wrong with Ndi Igbo, or where we got it wrong. How come we could achieve so much in the pre-independence and the immediate post-independence era, but today we are gasping for breath to find our feet in the project Nigeria? How did the mighty Igbo nation fall almost fatally from her Olympian height to the basement? Is it the same Igbo race that formed the ingenious Igbo State Union even before independence, which became a rallying point for the development of our Igbo and the respected voice in Nigeria? Is it the race we are talking about? Is it the Igbo race that produced an array of trailblazers who recorded many firsts in different fields of human endeavor in the past, and they still do? Is it the race we are talking about? Is it the same Igbo race that the great Zik of Africa once predicted that it was destined to lead and liberate Africa, that cannot even assert this strength anymore in today's Nigeria? There are more questions, but suffice it to admit that all point to the same conclusion: we are currently not doing very well. It is important, while we are still in the memory of jolting process, to remind ourselves of the fact that Ndi Igbo have recorded so many firsts in Nigeria, particularly in intellectual, in scientific and technological fields, before and after independence. The list of such great Igbos with prodigious feats in many fields is long enough to keep us here the whole day, if I were to name them one by one. The good news is that till today, Igbos have continued to be trailblazing in various fields of endeavor, such as technology and invention, where Igbos are now topping the charts. For example, Professor Bat Nnaji was the first African to become director of the United States National Science Foundation and the first to be honored by the World Bank. While Professor Ume Ifeanyi Chinedu is credited with 5 patents for his inventions. Above all, Igbos are listed and recognized in many publications among the highest achievers and technologically advanced people in the world. Every now and then, Nigerian girls and boys are recognized for incredible academic feats in various subjects all over the world. A Nigerian girl of Igbo extraction was recently named the best graduating medical student at a Russian university. A few days later, a Nigerian boy was named the best graduating student at a university in the United States of America. Recently, an Igbo girl was the best graduating student in a Chinese university. Evidently, therefore, one can say that Igbo intellectual and technological ingenuity is still alive and kicking. It is still the same race, the same people, speaking the same language, and sharing the same culture and even religion. But something has snapped. The Igbos still manifest their entrepreneurial, intellectual, and technological wizardry, now mostly in faraway lands, with only a handful doing so in the homeland. The prevailing situation in Igbo land today is best captured by the words of W.B. Yeats, which were made popular by our own children. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. That truly appears to be the problem. The center in Igbo homeland can no longer hold. That is the reality of the moment. The ironclad unity that made us thick enough to lead Nigeria in commerce, lead Nigeria in civil service and the bureaucracy, and even in the organized private sector, has taken flight. That is the cancerous worm that has eaten deep into the fabric and soul of India. We are no longer united. We no longer speak with one voice. We have allowed ourselves to be fragmented. We have willfully allowed ourselves to be divided. And as the scripture says, a house that is divided against itself cannot stand. Some of our brothers and sisters even refuse to be referred to as Igbos. That is how sorry and how sad our story is. That is why the Igbos have become almost distant from the mainstream Nigerian polity. So what do? Do we fold our hands and allow ourselves drift further into the bottomless abyss of insignificance? Or do we accept the challenge and jolt ourselves out of the slumber of self-defeat? To do this, we need to start telling ourselves some bitter home truths. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the challenge of insecurity is bringing us together to partner and cooperate again. We are now surrounded by dangerous criminals who want to decimate us and take over Igbo land. We are witnessing the worst form of insecurity, where human blood, held sacred by Igbo, is being shed recklessly, where human beings are beheaded and vilified, and where non-state actors now decree the days Ndi Igbo must go out to seek for their daily bread. And Igbo adage has it that the toad does not run in the afternoon without a cause. Our gathering today has been partly inspired by the fact that we are facing the collective threat of insecurity in the Southeast. The ease with which these criminals can move from one eastern state to another state reinforces the need for us to pull our resources together and to cooperate if we will be able to overcome the danger we face today. I really wish we did this meeting long before now. However, it is not too late, and we to be our watchword. A source of encouragement and hope. As I earlier noted, we can only begin our search for the solutions to our challenges by telling ourselves the bitter truth. Already, we have identified the lack of unity as the major bane of our generation. In trying, therefore, to provide a solution to the major cause of our latter-day disunity, I have reminisced back in the time to our roots, and I have come to the conclusion that the real cause is that we have abandoned a special attribute that is not only unique to us, but makes others envious of us. I think that the crux of the matter is that we have allowed what we consider our unique identity attribute to rot. What is the Igbo unique identity attribute? Or otherwise, if you may wish, called DNA, if you prefer. It is our Republican spirit. I dare add that it is on the altar of our unique Republican spirit, fired by our kindred spirit, that our entrepreneurial energy and creativity are nurtured and unbundled. That is also the spirit that drove our unity in the past. How do I mean? As I alluded to earlier, one of the things that stood Igbo out in the First Republic and pre-independence era was the well-organized Igbo State Union. That union, which was driven by our Republican spirit, successfully brought every Igbo man under one umbrella. A few details here will suffice. The Igbo State Union was founded in 1948, 12 years before independence. It was an umbrella union that brought all Igbos together. It was private sector driven up till 1966, when it was proscribed along other political parties. The Igbo State Union had branches in every major town in Nigeria. It was a strong voice in the national political space. It believed strongly in a united Nigeria. It was a catalyst for private sector-driven development projects, such as schools, hospitals. The school known today as National High School Aba was built by Igbo State Union. It also built one of such schools in Kano and a number of other cities across the country. That is the spirit of unity. That is the origin of Nigerian project. That is the belief of an average Igbo man. What has gone wrong? The Igbo State Union was self-funded. It did not depend on public funds. It was influential and was respected all over the country and beyond as independent and uncompromisable voice of Igbo. The salient takeaway from the above are as follows. The Igbo State Union was a private sector initiative and was private sector funded. Even after independence, it remained so. It was very influential as the united voice of Igbo. It was the Igbo Republican spirit that drove the union, hence no public sector influence or control. The people voluntarily came together and committed to defend, promote, develop the Igbo race with their own funds and at their own The Igbo spirit of enterprise thrives more in an unfettered ground defined by freedom and equity, not on a litany of rules. The key to the sustainability and functional deployment of the micro-Igbo kindred spirit or the macro-Republican spirit initiative. Going forward, it is therefore my well-considered submission that we need to return to the golden era of the spirit of the Igbo State Union if we are truly desirous of the resurgence of an unassailable Igbo unity. Mind you, I'm not calling for a rebirth of another Igbo State Union. Far from it. So many things have happened since 1966 that makes a debate of an Igbo State Union practically impossible. Besides, Ohanaeze Ndigbo has been around trying to fill the vacuum created by the demise of the Igbo State Union. Also, the dynamic reality of today makes it imperative that as a people, we must embark on a paradigm shift. We must be done, therefore, and what must be done is to reinvent the Igbo State Union spirit in a more. As the private sector plays this crucial role of organizing Igbo into one united body with one voice, the public sector or the government will have their own roles to play. I can confirm to you that our governors are working together and united, and the current the present set of governments are desirous in having Igbo interests developed, in having our region secure, in doing everything that is necessary to bring prosperity to our people. In this connection, I consider it very necessary to suggest and the cooperation and unity of all Southeast leaders, both in public and private sector, they must come to meet, float a platform for routine engagements, so that collectively we can define our destiny. Collectively we can defend our destiny. Collectively we can protect our people. And submitting that this meeting today be adopted as a standard annual meeting for leaders of Igbo. I therefore call on the organizing committee to consider this as part of the recommendations that they will adopt. A special forum should be established for all political office holders in the Southeast to meet at least twice a year, to exchange ideas, forming synergy on matters concerning Igbo. This will help us have a common national position on as many issues as possible. I will further suggest that we establish a platform for regular dialogue between the Southeast leaders and our youth. This will be by way of having a standing committee for Southeast youth engagement with leaders, a biannual conference, a conference between the leaders and the youth groups can be convoked. Through such interactions, the leaders will begin to understand and appreciate the peculiar challenges of our youth. Our youth also will have the opportunity of knowing what is happening in the world and in the country, because some of them have derailed out of ignorance, or otherwise I can say because nobody is talking to them. I think that the need to reinvent the guidance spirit of Oyara in Igbo cannot be overemphasized. The decline in that spirit resulting from our defeat in the Civil War was our greatest loss. Apparently cowed by the defeat in that war, our people became afraid to assert themselves, to operate as a formidable team they were known before and immediately after independence. This lacuna in the Igbo side is what I hope that can be filled through the proposals I have just outlined. Returning to the role of the private sector or public sector in ensuring a renaissance of Igbo unity and development, I believe the place to start is by addressing the nagging insecurity challenges in our land. As noted in this address earlier, one of the reasons why we are here is to discuss the prevailing insecurity in the Southeast and the way forward. This is one area that the state government must have a substantial role to play. There is no doubt that the insecurity situation in the Southeast is fast turning into an inexplicable phenomenon. Hiding under a separatist agitation, criminals have visually laid siege on our respective states. The irony of that, most of them, is that most of them who unleash all manner of criminality and banditry on the Southeast live also in the Southeast. Some of them are also well known to the indigenous of the area where they use as their operational base. But the indigenous are too afraid to expose them. Indeed, what is happening in the Southeast is not just curious, but unusual. The type of criminality, including barbarism, which hitherto were unthinkable in our league, has now become a commonplace. We are witnessing a very uncommon times indeed. But as an evil proverb will have it, and about us, about if an animal makes a dangerous sprint, you have to fire it with additional impetus. Or like China's little boutique, if the bird learns to fly without patience, then the hunter must learn how to shoot without aiming. The summary is that we are in unusual times and we must apply unusual solutions. To achieve this, we must work together in many ways than one. My ideas on how we can achieve this will be discussed at the closed door sessions. The suffice it to say here that we must rise from this summit with a clear roadmap on how to ensure that our people are not interrupted in their legitimate quest to work and earn their livelihood. 7 days of the week, our people must be allowed to spread. This is to say that this summit must come up with a pragmatic ways of ending the senseless madness called sit-at-home in the Southeast. The Southeast is part of the Nigerian project. We believe in Nigeria. We are united, and that's the only country we can call our own. And I would recommend that one day a president of Southeast extraction will emerge as a Nigerian president. Let me now touch on the issue of the economy of the Southeast and the urgent need to empower our youth so that they will no longer be willing tools in the hands of evil men and women terrorizing our region. While I can see that the issue of unemployment is a recurring problem pushing governments to their wits' end, it is something that will not go away except to tackle it from the roots. I have often wondered why the other regions still have institutions that bind them while we have none. For example, in the Southeast, you have entities like the Wema Bank, which is owned by the government of the Southwest. In the Southwest. And the Wema Bank is still standing. Why is it equivalent in the the Southeast, African continental belt is long gone. As a matter of fact, we have visually allowed the mighty local legacies to go to West. Our economic stability strategy has never taken into account the need to work together for the growth of the Igbo economy as a whole, even though we come from different states. As I mentioned earlier, when I delivered the 14th edition of the famous Evening Job Lecture series, I advocated for the establishment of a development fund for Ndi to fund economic and technology research by our academics. Our sons and daughters with the wherewithal should make contributions to this fund, while our academy will access and utilize these funds to embark on research that will drive our innovative ideas for economic and technological advancement. This advocacy of mine is still as relevant today as it was on the first day I canvassed it. A further step can be taken to establish a Southeast Technology Village or Science Park. I had also made this call in one of my public lectures. This can be called the Orient Technology Village, and will serve as a place where talented scientists can be deployed to translate research findings from our universities into new products. I foresee the possibility of this village serving as the springboard that can turn our name, and indeed Nigeria, into the Japan of Africa. Again, because our people are entrepreneurs and traders, we need to assist them to make their contributions towards the economic growth of the Southeast. There is also a need to create common trade institutions like the establishment of Southeast Commodity Board for the purpose of boosting agriculture and commerce in the region. While the board helps farmers to take in and store their surplus yields, the masses will access these products at affordable rates. To achieve this effectively, there should be an efficient transport system across the region. The 5 Southeast states can establish and run a common transport company to facilitate the movement of goods and personnel across the region. We can even establish a railway system to run across the 5 Southeast states. With our Southeast Railway Corporation, our dream of economic integration would have come closer to reality. The current efforts of my administration in dredging the Uruguay Lake up to the Atlantic Ocean are also geared towards boosting the economy of the Southeast, particularly because it comes with the prospect of a river port. This will certainly accelerate our economic development. Let me at this juncture commend our brothers and sisters in the Nnewi, Anambra State and Aba in Abia State for their vision in sustaining the towns as the economic hub of the Southeast. It feeds into our vision of backward integration, investing at home for our development. I'm looking forward to seeing more Nnewis and Abas replicated in various towns of Igbo land with specialized markets and services. We have Aba, we have Owo, we have Onitsha, we have Nsukka, we have Abakaliki, all waiting for these specialized markets and services. Let us explore the opportunities. My brothers and sisters, my dear governors, your excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my great pleasure to welcome you once more to Imo State as we engage in the serious business of brainstorming in this summit on the way forward for Ndi. I pray that you will find time also to relax and enjoy yourselves. When you do, you will even be amazed with the first-class hospitality our state has to offer. You may even be tempted to decide to stay back here permanently. Please feel free to do so. I wish all of us very successful summit, and I want to thank all of you for coming, and may God bless us. Thank you.
He is the executive governor of the White Nation. Mr. Governor, President for Chupo Matas Segundo, the sufficient power, and of course, a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, sufficient governor. We know that disruptive change and all the things that he stands for. So we cannot wait to hear the remarks by a commander of the Federal Republic. Mr. Governor of State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo,
Igbo bueno, Bomono, Suono, Cachano. Your Excellencies, my colleague governors of the Southeast, the chairman of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, can say all other protocols duly observed. Today, a farewell spent, make a few minutes of reminder. Just to say, 1, 2, 3, since I have 5 minutes, because I think we need to recover that time. Some of us will be running in a few minutes' time. 5 minutes, 5 points. The first is gratitude. Gratitude to the organizing committee. Gratitude to Ohanaeze Ndigbo. And gratitude to our host governor and our chairman. I think he actually spoke on behalf of all of us, the governor. When he was going on, I said, let him take our own time and so to speak. We donated it freely to him to speak on our behalf. Thank you very much for hosting this. This was shared by all of us, and I am very delighted to be here. I want to thank all of you, and thank you all for coming. Answering the call of this summit, shadowed by the 5 Southeast governors. That's my first point. Gratitude and thank you. The second is to, and that is the most important reason why all of us, the 5 Southeast governors, are here. And that is to let our people know of our unwavering, unalloyed commitment to this project. And so I want to say on behalf of myself, this is really a new dawn in the Southeast. And for those I hear and I see many people on televisions, talking and admonishing the Southeast governors to come together, unite and do this and so on and so forth. This is not talk. We are. And I am very, very delighted to be part of this. When we had our first or the second Southeast Governors Forum together in Enugu, we demonstrated that all of us in attendance, no representation as it were. And today we are here. And part of that commitment to show that wherever it is in Igbo land, we are together. Ideally, this kind of summit, being the Southeast, should have been held in our eternal political capital, Enugu. But here we are in Owerri, demonstrating that commitment and solidarity with one another. I want to thank the governor of Enugu who a few days ago hosted the True Justice and Peace Commission that I set up last year. And all the security advisors of the 5 governors were there. And you guys met
I've received the report, and I want to believe that our governors were going to consider this in due course. Thank you very much, the governor. And so, a new dawn, a new team now give us the agenda. And that brings me to my third point. My third point is that we need a plan. I don't want to regale you with my own proposals and so on and so forth. We all have ideas. But for the organizers of this summit, what we need, and we very much check from all of you, is not just a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan. The Vatican plans in centuries. Give us a 100-year plan. That is homeland consciousness. What will it take to implement this plan? You spoke extensively about the things that we need and so on and so forth. But I want to suggest, dear friends, that if we don't have the homeland consciousness, we don't believe in ourselves, this will not be achieved. So, let us believe. I've heard the speeches given, books of lamentations. They're very good to lament. But I rather like to see the glass as half full than half empty. The Southeast is ready for business. The Southeast is right for business. And we must all believe in our ability to turn things around and get the Southeast going again. That must be the outcome of this particular summit. We can lament about insecurity and so on and so forth. This is not the most insecure place in the world. Other places are trying in spite of their own insecurity. Yes, when I arrived at Anambra, 8 local governments were totally under siege by this hoodlum. They're all gone. We're settling to business. They will not deter us. Anambra and the Southeast, all of us, must be determined to move our place forward in spite of the challenges. So, I said to our people, brothers in diaspora who are waiting for the perfect time to come, when all the problems are solved, when the Southeast governors must have solved all the problems, we must all believe. Stop seeing the half-empty, oh, it's all gloom and doom, the short sunset yesterday, and therefore we must all, if we all do that, this place will be a desolate homeland. We must believe. And my last point, the kind of partnership you require to make it happen. When we believe, and part of that belief, and I now wearing Akwete from Abia. When I put on the Akwete from Abia, and Innocent from Newi, or Shoe from where? Who's that? My shoe comes from Ogunike. I believe, because I do what I believe. Where is yours coming from? From Italy and from all over the world and so on, we must believe. So self-belief for me is fundamental. If we live here without mentioning that, then we all this while in the room and have just come, feel good factor, we talk to ourselves and go home. We must believe in ourselves. And finally, not be an intolerant people. We need the partnership of everybody. Partnership of the rest of the country, partnership of the diaspora, partnership with the international community. When we recently recruited about 5,000 teachers in Anambra, we didn't ask people where they come from. In that recruitment, we have people from all over the country. And we're now recruiting medical personnel.
Your Excellencies, the governors of the Southeast states, the Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would now fail to recognize Agbogibi Obi of Onitsha to speak after a professor of economics, former governor of Central Bank, and my senior brother, Professor Soludo. If it were in the north, now when the leader has finished speaking, the rest of us will just chorus, "Two." I'll just say "Two" to what Professor Soludo said. I'll try to be brief. I'm most especially delighted to stand before you today and share my thoughts on the importance of this summit and the expectations of many Igbo sons and daughters and other interested local and international players who will be quietly following to see what fruits this event will bear in the medium to long term. Permit me to begin by appreciating the Southeast Governors Forum, the leadership of Ahanes and Igbo, led by Chief Emmanuel Uwenu, DFR, the Summit Central Organizing Committee, and all the individuals and groups who contributed in diverse ways to make this program a reality. Thank you for the sacrifices and for everything you have given to bring our people together to reflect and talk to ourselves on the two issues that are very critical to our survival and prosperity as one people: security and economic prosperity of the region. It is fulfilling to observe that all the clans, socioeconomic, political, cultural, and demographic groups within the Southeast region are fully represented, and the importance of this should never be lost on us. The vision of the organizers of this event is very clear: building a secure, prosperous, and economically robust Southeast. This intervention is very timely, and it is good we have it in this auditorium. Individuals with records of proven achievements in all thematic areas. It is my expectation that the insights to be shared by these accomplished men and women shall help chart a new path for our land, which unfortunately has become beleaguered by several challenges that could not have been contemplated a few years back. Our duty here is to tell our what we must do over the next 2 days is to look ourselves in the eye and admit that we have indeed not lived up to the vision and dreams of our fathers. The men who built what was once known as the most thriving economic center of enterprise and productivity in the world, and that was Southeast. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Dr. Michael Oborade, Sam Bakwe, Dr. Akanu Ebian, and others achieved so much for this region, not because they had all the money in the world, no. What they had was a clear vision of where they wanted the region to be, and followed it up with the right commitment, made the right sacrifices, and built the networks and partnerships that enabled them to achieve so much within a very short time. Some of the most better developed cities and towns have study institutions and structures we still have across all parts of Igbo land and beyond. We have very eloquent testimony to the vision and developmental strides of our fathers. The question is, why did we stop? What comparable achievements have we recorded in the last 40 years compared with the previous 40? Trading claims and pointing accusing fingers at others will do us no good. To solve our problems, including worrisome insecurity, require the collective engagement of all stakeholders. As leaders, we must acknowledge that the challenges we face today we are products of yesterday's decisions. How do we create jobs and the enabling environment to sustain enterprise? How can we support our young people to live out the full expression of their dreams here? How do we build an ecosystem that attracts and retains the best talent we can find? The needs of the modern man have evolved, and we must be able to develop a structure that speaks to the appetites of the average individual in this age. Modern housing facilities, quality road networks, dynamic educational facilities that answer to the learning needs of the global economy, smart cities, high-speed broadband internet, one-stop shops and retail malls, standard hotels and event centers, parks and gardens, secure and clean neighborhoods, financial services centers and access to quality water have become very central to our existence in this age. And any government that compromises on need would continue to witness the mass exodus of east-west rails and miles. So what is the way forward? I cannot claim to have all the answers, but I have a few ideas that I believe are worth examining. One, we must be willing to engage with our youth population, understand their needs, and address that sense of alienation that is continuing to linger. We must importantly identify effective ways of tapping into the power of their creative mind for their lives and advantage. Additionally, we must appreciate that there is anger in the land, and there is a reason many people are disappointed. We must open a window of engagement with those who believe that they have not been paid attention to or they have not been treated fairly. As leaders, we must be open to listening to those we are leading, especially when we have different ideas about the rampant acts of bloodletting and other forms of violent crimes in the region. Our culture and traditions regarding human blood are very sacred, and we must hold on to that. The desperation to get rich, especially amongst young people, has reached epidemic levels, and we must be genuinely worried. Is there anything we can do to make contentment a victory in our land once again? I'll leave that to everyone in this auditorium to respond to. We also have a responsibility to find ways of addressing the rising problem of drug abuse, which is damaging the life and potentials of many of our young ones. Supply must be cut off, and those who profit from this pattern of destruction have to face the full wrath of the law. This is one matter we must never compromise with if we want to restore security and sanity in our communities. Importantly, we must encourage our people to look east by creating the right environment for their businesses. It is not enough to ask them to relocate home, but I must especially commend the industrialists and businessmen who are continuing to invest in this region. I thank you for your efforts at job creation and holistic economic growth within the region. I encourage others to begin to see the great opportunities that are developing here. But I must also address our leaders that we do not have a choice but to create the enabling environment for businesses to do well in the Southeast. Remember, fortune, they say, favor the brave. As political leaders, we must set the pace by identifying investment opportunities within our domain and commit adequate public resources to motivate private investors. We must lead the way, and there are lots of opportunities waiting to be harnessed in oil and gas, hospitality, transportation, education, and so much more. While it may make sense to say that government has no business in business, it is also factual to say that without government direction and commitment, no business will remain in business for a long time. Where necessary, government must intervene directly in business. And I make bold to say that quite unlike what the classical economics will tell you, that government involvement in business is not healthy for business. I say that that is not. At this point, I want to specially invite everyone seated here to the groundbreaking ceremony of the Abia Industrial and Innovation Park in Owaza. Owaza is in Okpa West local government of Abia State, and this event comes up on Saturday, the 30th of this month by 12, that's in 2 days' time. The park, sitting on over 1,000 hectares of land, will host multiple layers of businesses, including modular refineries, petrochemical and fertilizer plants, and several other chains of enterprises that will take advantage of the oil and gas deposits in the province. It is near to Aba and Port Harcourt cities. A seaport is in the works, and EPZ will also follow. 24-hour power supply is guaranteed, and other components of the larger ecosystem within the community to make businesses work. Already we have secured support of a major stakeholder to build an innovation and incubation center within the park. The facility will train and expose our young minds to the best tools and platforms for their trade. The Innovation and Incubation Center will specially benefit university students, graduates, and startups in several ways. You will get more details from some of our representatives at this summit and at the groundbreaking ceremony on Saturday. My message as I close is simple. Building our region into a prosperous and secure space is our collective obligation. No foreigner will do it for us. Granted that foreign investment is desirable, those who own the land must lead the way and develop in abundance. Those ideas and methods have never yielded anything beneficial. In the end, we must never shirk in our duty to show our children the path to a desired future. Even if we are unable to get there ourselves, we must try. The commitment must be to do better, and most importantly, position this plan to take advantage of the many systems of benefits that the new global borderless economy promises. My dear brothers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next session.
Words of mumble by Executive Governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Otti. And now, we will move on to hear from Summit co-host and the Executive Governor. Yet another welcome remark from the Summit co-host and Executive Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mbah. Let us hear from the man who is...
Your Excellencies, my brothers, governors of the various states in the southeast, the chairman of the occasion, Please permit me to adopt the already established protocol for want of time. The day is fast spent. I would also toe the line of my brother from Anambra. I will not read my formal speech, which I prepared because I was billed to actually speak at 11:35. And as you know, I'm also hosting another event in Enugu State, so I must hurry to meet up with that event. I am truly delighted to be at this summit, holding at a critical time for us as a people, bound in common history and cultural heritage. But before I proceed, let me, as a co-host, also join my brothers in bidding you all welcome to this August occasion. We are indeed very grateful for your commitment and sacrifice. As I drove from Enugu to Owerri this morning, taking in the wondrous landscape and the lush vegetation, I was struck by how common our communities are alike. I was trying to figure out the distinguishing feature going from one state to another, but I could barely find anything distinguishing one state from another, except the customary signposts at the various boundaries. So the ties that bind us together run truly deep. So we have this commonality of everything. We may have various dialects, but we have one language, Igbo. We're also faced with the worst economic slump ever witnessed since after the end of the Civil War. And I'm very glad that we're here today to discuss about these two critical issues, security and economy of the Southeast states. For me, the goal of securing the Southeast does not really depend on one state being able to arrest and dislodge criminals as a single unit. We must begin to think about strategies that enable us to ring-fence the zone and to be able to deploy a common strategy and common operations plan to be able to deal with these security challenges. And in doing so, we also have to begin to think about how do we, the people of the Southeast, the governors of the Southeast, how do we meet regularly with the security agencies? How do we ensure that the inter-security agencies are able to share intelligence and that there is no undue restriction? Because sharing of such intelligence is what you require to fight a cross-boundary criminality. And so, we would also, in the same vein, be thinking about how do we set up a command and control center that is common to the entire Southeast states. I recall in our first meeting the Southeast Governors Forum, some of these ideas were mooted. And I'm hoping that the non-kinetic approaches to dealing with insecurity. We know that some of these our youths are being misled into believing that they are fighting a noble cause. And so this is where our traditional rulers, our presidents, our president generals of the various town union have a critical role to play. How do we let this our youth see the folly in their action, their misguided actions, knowing that this would only be a shot in the foot? As a way of extending the non-kinetic approach is also for us as leaders of this zone to be able to think about how do we deal with the root causes of insecurity. In my opinion, how do we address unemployment and poverty? That naturally leads me to the next theme of this summit, economy. I believe that in order for us as a region to grow, we must take a bold view of the things we can achieve as a region. So, and that will include looking at how do we have an integrated region, into how do we integrate this. Okay, if we're looking at the market size of 25 million people and above, so you're talking about 25 million consumers, and you're looking at the economies of scale that you can achieve by that sheer size of people. We're also going to be able to look at how do we create a large scope of socialization by way of the things we have comparative advantage of in the Southeast. So there are ways we can begin to think about expanding or growing our economy, but talking about them would require, as I said, key enablers. And in my view, those key enablers would be in form of transportation and logistics. How do we ensure that we have a real network that looks across the various cities in Anambra, Abia, Imo, Enugu, and Ebonyi? How do we build a ring road that connects all the major cities in the Southeast? Based on the new amendment of the law, we have way in the concurrent list. So there is nothing stopping us. So if we pick one or two projects from this summit that we can say, look, we're going to, as a people of Southeast, make sure that we implement, we execute, and we know that it's going to have a huge spillover effect. Of course, the challenge would be, if we believe in it, what would be the various sources of fund? How do we fund it? That again brings me to this philosophy of Akuruno. We can be thinking about different models of funding. We have the crowdfunding model. So Akuruno, in my view, is for us to also encourage our kids and kin to be able to bring back their wealth to the Southeast. At least putting a benchmark of, say, between 30 and 40% of our wealth. We're people that are wealthy, the Igbos. So if we begin to think about how do we invest some of those funds, I'm sure I'm speaking for my brothers as well, that we're going to stand by you to implement these great ideas that you will create from this summit. So once again, I want to thank the organizers of this summit, and I wish you a fruitful celebration. Thank you.
As low as 3 minutes, we'll be very happy.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, our own brother, Senator Uzodinma, the other governors here present, the President General of Hanese, our own brother, my own father, Chief Emmanuel Uwaina, the Secretary of Security Chiefs here, other religious and traditional rulers here present. For what of time, let me appreciate and stand on the already established protocols. Greetings from my own dear Governor, the Executive Governor of Ebonyi State, Right Honorable Ogbonna Nwifuru. He would have been here present. But you know what happened yesterday? He's still in Abuja, but we thank God for the grace. And congratulations. It came at a time that we have to talk and look at our faces and tell ourselves the truth. Yes, we have come of that age. Enough is enough. We need to come home. We need to come together. We need to speak at one voice. We need to talk to each other, to encourage each other, so that all that we need in this Southeast will be done. What do we need? First of all, we need peace. This peace cannot just come from anywhere. Let us start from our homes. As a mother, what do you do in your house? Have you been able to talk to your children? When we talk of social vices all start from home. Have we been able to trace? Have we been able to talk to our children? Where are you coming from at this late hour? Which type of friendship? Which type of people do you follow? And once in a while as a mother, have you gone to the school of your children to know whether exactly they are in the school? These are the roles of a mother that we need to do to curb all these social vices that is emanating and taking the role of our children. Mothers, are you there? Yes. The women are ready to take this course. We are ready to go back home to talk to our children, to remove them from the wrong track and bring them to the rightful one. Praise the Lord. Secondly, we have said it all here. All my leaders, the governors, and all that are spoken here. We have said it all. All that we need in this Southeast is to believe in ourselves. There is nothing we cannot do in the Southeast. When you go out there, even outside the country, the best in the whole world comes from Southeast. The best in the brain comes from Southeast. How can we sit, move Southeast forward? But for Ebonyi State, we are committed and fully committed to support this project to the end. God bless you all. And as we go back home, let us go as that good ambassador to preach this good news to our people. God bless you all, and it shall be well with us.
Especially those of you who have traveled from outside the Monarch corridors. My first thing is to say thank you to our governors under the leadership of Uzodinma, who is the chairman of the governors. Police our rights in security. I have very examined what has been happening in Igboland and other parts of Nigeria for the past 2 years. I have been in tears most of the time. As a leader of Igbos, every Igbo person is my son or my daughter.
It's my duty as a father to take steps to ensure that bloodshed is stopped. Tomorrow, when I address a people on the important ceremony, I will make a proclamation, and I'm going to say that all these young people should see their self. They must come to us, the elders, and tell us what their problem is. And we are going to appeal to the government to think of non-kinetic approach. I don't feel happy losing the life of my children. I don't feel happy people, when soldiers are killed in reprisal, many people are killed, property is destroyed. Even if you use gun force, when a bomb is thrown, bomb doesn't know who is answering, it's been everybody. So we have found ourselves in a different position, and I think we must consider seriously the non-kinetic approach. Number two, it's not only pursuing the criminals. Why are they criminals? Why are they criminals? We must stop have started a program of creating jobs, creating employment, of youth development. I am very happy with this. I think federal government should support the Southeast government and SND in a program of completely transforming the economy of this place in order to create jobs, in order to produce goods and services. So they will help us. We thank the federal government for the direction of which government of the state has initiated. We also in Johannesburg, when I went to America, many people there are interested in dredging Azumani, in dredging Ihiala and Kenya. So apart from Kuta, we could get Azumani a seaport there, a seaport around here. We are dredging people. If we have this, you know, our place will turn from this type of crisis to heaven everywhere. Number two, we have our people as traders, commercial people. We have in our organization decided to encourage the development of markets. In fact, one of our sons have already canalized our revenues to develop an international market at Omani. An international market at Omani in Nigeria is good, that it's working on megacity. A megacity between Okija, between Okigwe and Enugu. We are working on it. We hope to discuss this with the governors forum at appropriate time. There are so many things we are planning. A lot of things we hope when we plan them, things will be all right. But we think federal government will support the governors. That is, support them financially, support them on the projects they're carrying, so that you will have job opportunities. Once you have job opportunities, that will help to reduce all this crime. I don't want to talk so much because we have to do long. I want to thank Chris Anya and his team. I want to thank all of you. May God bless you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate your Excellency, Chief Emmanuel Iwanyama. Let me please appeal to those at the back. Can we have one room, please? I don't know who is sharing food there now. Let's stop. This is a summit. Let me also welcome the President of the Guild of Editors, Mr. Ezra Adaba, who is here with us. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before Akogidi, the Obiofo can speak to us, let's quickly have the keynote address from the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
All protocols observed. I'm deeply honored by the invitation to address you today. Prior engagements unfortunately prevented me from joining you at home, but I'm happy to be able to make this keynote speech. Let me start by congratulating you on this extraordinary gathering of Southeast leaders coming together to consider the economic and social development of the region. I would say it's about time. Difficult times warrant extraordinary measures. Nigeria is going through tough economic times in a context in which the world itself is facing multiple crises and uncertainties, whilst at the same time changing rapidly. If today's initiative or gathering succeeds and delivers concrete results, then I hope it will be the start of a journey to improve the lives of the more than 23 million people who live in Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, and Enugu and Imo states. And it could do much more than that. I'm convinced that a re-dynamized Southeast has the potential to become a beacon of development, good governance, and stability in our country. A re-dynamized South has many available solutions. The Southeast has so many talents and opportunities, and I think we can plan how to exploit them all to the benefit of the region and its people. On our challenges, I'm sure you expect me to mention the big gaps in infrastructure and services. Yes, that is a challenge, and we'll come to that. But I don't think it is our biggest challenge. Our biggest challenge in the Southeast is ourselves. Allow me to speak frankly. We have too often been our own worst enemies. We have allowed ourselves to be divided. We've lost focus and lost sight of our biggest assets, namely a sense of community and mutual support. We no longer have solidarity. Instead, we have fragmented as a people, and that has made us forget how to work with each other. We don't support each other. Instead, we attack and undermine each other. We're too individualistic. And individualism can be good, but not when we need to come together as one to enable us to deliver. But there's a bright side to this challenge. If our big problem is ourselves, it means that the solutions also lie in our hands. If we can build a sense of common purpose and cohesion, we can solve the other problems. To do this, we need to exercise joint leadership, and that is precisely why it is so important that you're taking this step today. Our other big challenge is security. This has arisen partly from our fragmentation. Insecurity in our region is sending the wrong signals about whether one can invest in the Southeast. I want to commend the governors on the recent progress on this front, including mobilizing the NSA and the federal government to assist. The lesson for us is clear. You cannot have development without security. Create more revenue internally, and how do we do it while still motivating our productive sectors and factors? Are we taking on too much debt? Are we even spending the amounts borrowed effectively? What can we do to improve our spending on capital projects? Keeping these questions constantly in your mind, something I did when I was a finance minister at the federal level, helps ensure that state and local government monies are channeled in directions that truly deliver for people. We know that one of the biggest challenges that we have is infrastructure. We alluded to that earlier. Specifically, access to electricity and good roads are vital to future progress. People will say that it's largely a federal government responsibility, and yes, to a great extent this is true. But there's much the states can do. We have federal roads and we have state roads. The federal government has privatized electricity generation and distribution, yet things have not really improved as much as we would like because of discontinuities in the system. But I see this privatization as an opportunity Southeasterners can seize to improve the situation in the region. One of our foremost citizens, Professor Bakinaj, has already shown what one man's ingenuity and drive can do. He may not have got it all right, but he has shown how we can try to solve some of our problems in the power sector. Now that the world is moving to renewables because of climate change, We also have the opportunity to move to off-grid solar solutions for our rural areas, while still looking to see how we use our gas for urban and industrial. Beyond Innocent, our wonderful brother, and a few others, can we get the several billionaires we have to invest more in the Southeast so that we can create decent jobs for our young people right here? Can we get beyond our individual beautiful mansions in our villages to make our land lovable and livable? How can we have an apprenticeship model that a scholar recently described as, quote, the largest business incubator platform in the world, with apprentices emerging with skills, experience, and also startup capital, close quote, and still see our young people desperate on the streets of Onitsha, Lagos, and every small and large city in between? I want to suggest right away that we convene a Southeast Investment Forum, not for people from outside the region or abroad, but for our own Igbo business people. In this forum, we should examine what is blocking greater investment in the Southeast region and what we can do to lift these blockages. Only after this should we do a Southeast Investment Forum where we can attract outside foreign investors. Challenges of climate change. Certain supply chains are being considered. Pharmaceuticals, for example, fertilizer, labor-intensive industries, and yes, technology. The question for us in the Southeast is, can we attract any of this supply chain diversification? Technology is where the world is moving to. Artificial intelligence is what the world is talking about now, and it is exploding. We already have so many of our young Southeasterners involved, from fintech to electric motorcycles. From where I sit at the WTO, we can see that technology and digital are critical. The fastest growing segment of trade is digital trade, especially digitally driven services trade. When I talk about digitally driven services trade, this means anything from streaming music and movie services to delivering accounting and backup medical services. Digitally delivered services trade is growing at 8% per annum compared to 5.6% for goods trade. We have the human resources, the trained professionals to benefit from digitally delivered services trade. We also have the creative industries, film and music, centered in Onitsha and elsewhere.
Trade Organization WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, on the thought-provoking and homegrown keynote address. I will move on swiftly now because we deserve to have some royal blessings because we've been here since earlier today. Let us welcome for his remarks, Royal Father of the Day, DOB of Onitsha.
Led by the Chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma, and his colleagues here, and those who are not here. The Chairman of Education, and for the benefit of time, I'll stand on established protocols. And on behalf of the joint body of the Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers and the representatives of the Igbo archbishops and bishops on peace and reconciliation, which we might call the joint body for brevity, I express sincere appreciation to the Southeast Governors Forum for organizing this summit. The joint body came into existence in 2021 to engender peace and reconciliation based on justice and equity as foundation for progress and development in our neighborhood.
you take your mind back to 2021, that brought us together. The timing of this summit could not be more urgent with the threats against India at unprecedented levels since the Nigerian Civil War. We're never more in danger than we are today in Nigeria. The imperatives for a clear vision for India cannot be overstated. I think our governors have made it very, very clear in their addresses. At this moment, that the country is at a dangerous crossroads. The national economy is in tatters, and internal security is getting worse every day. In the southeast, we have the aftermath of the last general elections. A complex, protracted security situation involving kidnappers, political thugs, state and non-state actors, all masquerading as unknown gunmen, as well as the economic strangulation of the zone arising from the insecurity and the ill-advised at-home protest that has cost people incalculable losses in finances and tragically properties and lives. Onitsha as a commercial city is seriously affected in this regard, just like Aba, Owerri, Enugu, and other major cities in Anambra State, in the southeast. It is therefore of utmost urgency that we set our own overarching agenda, indeed, our own overarching agenda that is above partisanship and shared by all stakeholders. And I think many of the speakers have talked about that today. With the joint body, we started with immediate issues of regional security. We worked on the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from detention and the elections in Anibu. And then we shifted attention to medium and longer term issues that confront India. We considered 3 broad issues for immediate intervention, namely strategic economic development, organized regional security, and the rebirth of the Igbo nation through revisiting and repositioning our values. All the statements today have focused obviously on the economy and security, that's the thing. But the third element, which we believe is even more fundamental, is the need to reset our values. The greatest existential threat to Igbo may invariably be argued to be the continuing erosion and perversion of our traditional values of truth, love, compassion, patience, restraint, modesty, intellectual and professional rigor, mutual support, family, and an abiding pursuit of peace and goodwill to us all. Because I believe we're all over the place, we're itinerant people. The joint body has taken immediate steps on a journey that will transform the lives of the people, starting from the cradle. I presided over a 2-day workshop earlier this month, where the breadth and diversity of Igbo core values orientation was discussed. The logical end of the workshop was the inauguration of the Joint Body Committee on Igbo Values Reorientation. The committee will develop a blueprint that will be presented to a cross-section of Igbo stakeholders in multiple colloquia for them to support and give agreement on a program and timeline for implementation. It's a long-term project, but we cannot run away from it. The Joint Body is pleased that the agenda for this summit completely dovetails with its own vision for Igbo and complements and completes the track record of the economy,
security, and our core values. The last acting as the foundation for sustainable accomplishment of the other two. So we need our values back. We need to restore our values to accomplish the economic development and security. We are pleased also that several members of the joint body have been involved in the preparatory work for this summit. And this is very, very welcome synergy in the interest of the people. And finally, I urge all present to ensure the success of this very crucial summit on the search for sustainable solutions to the security and economic challenge of our homeland based on the restoration of our core values. Thank you very much. It's a blessing when you have a royal father this articulate. And we have received a royal blessing. Can we put our hands together for the Agbogbede himself, the Obi of Onitsha? We welcome you. Everything is classy, everything is world class. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have heard from different areas of human endeavor. We kicked off with prayers from the religious angle, and virtually every professional group has spoken. And let me move to the national.
Economic activities cannot thrive when there is a height of insecurity. So with what has been done today, I want to really thank the Southeast governors for initiating this. But the point is, it's not all about talking. It's all about implementation. Now, that is why a subcommittee was formed, which I am a member of the subcommittee, not on the basis of implementation, but holistically look at the entire discussions and look at vital areas that are necessary that, if properly implemented, can enhance the socio-economic development of the Igbo nation. So, like I said, it is timeless. It is very encouraging. It came at the right time. But you see, each person that has talked about insecurity, I have not heard anyone talk about except Abu Dhabi, who talked about the Nnamdi Kanu's case. But I'm sure that it is that matter that brought 70% or 80% of insecurity in the Southeast. So I will advise, just as the Southeast governors have come together to address this issue, advise that they should come together in like manner to approach the federal government to solicit for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. If that could also create a better environment for business and socio-economic activities to thrive in this part of the nation, I'm sure it's going to go a long way in making sure that those who are boys and friends and sons and daughters who are in the bush will come out of the forest and live with us. You know, because the forest is made for animals and not human beings. So, again, I also want to say that the implementation roadmap of this program should be followed strictly so that we won't end up speaking grammar and still falling back to the same situation. So, that's my point.
You have encapsulated.
What I said there came from my mind. The governors.
Well, the summit is part of the purpose of the last not just the state, also the Southeast. So he's been able to bring together his brother governors
talk about this security of the economy. Because the economy cannot thrive as well as security. That's why we're here. So this is a very important gathering. Ministry of
governors, what is the
boss of that company have said there are some persons that are supposed to be part of
and the governor of the
Well, there are some ex-governors here too. Some of the ones you mentioned are not. But this is a regional matter. The ones you mentioned are from the state. So it doesn't end there. The government is committed to dialogue, is committed to stakeholders. And I do believe there will be a signal to this that centers around the state. And at that time, the individuals or the actors will be
election is around
election all over the world are always problems. But I can assure the people of the state that we are setting the necessary machinery to make sure that our people can go out and vote safe and then have their votes counted.
Okay, man. Today, the leaders of Southeast gathered in Owerri for economic and security summit. Could you please give a perspective to today's event?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Right Honorable Princess Miriam Otinaka. I represent Okigwe North, Okigwe Onim Isialamba Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, and I'm also the House of Representatives Standing Committee Chair on Tech Fund. I want to say that I'm elated. I am happy that the Southeast governors and the major stakeholders and the players within the Southeast have finally come together under one umbrella to tackle the security challenges head on. A lot has been said about the causes of insecurity within the region. It's also known that the Southeast is not the only zone experiencing insecurity, but it has become recently one too many. And so today we saw players in the industries, captains of industry, commerce, trade, political class, and then the governors of the Southeast, the traditional, and the clergy coming together. There's been widespread admonishment for youth to deploy tact in expressing their grievances and anger and not to take destructive decisions. I think that this is the right time for these development initiatives to evolve. I'm also of the opinion and in support of a collective roadmap to a development agenda and a plan that will integrate the entire Southeast and link us to the national grid. And for us in the National Assembly, we will not fail to deploy legislative intervention, like where training and research was mentioned during the discussion, to help our youth and people in science develop traits or apps or solutions that will be used to promote trade and tackle insecurity in the region. And so, as chairman of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, a TED Fund, which is also empowering universities to carry on research and bring not just research that will end up in our shelves, but research that will transform to food security, economic development, and tackling insecurity. So I would ensure that I contribute my own quota in that regard to put the universities and the relevant departments to task to ensure that the funds deployed in that area, especially within the Southeast, which is the main of this discussion today, will be visible and translate to tangible realities of economic economic growth and security for the region. I also want to use this opportunity to thank the leaders of the Southeast and the governor and the chief host of this event, His Excellency Governor Hope Uzodimma, who has given a voice to a youth like me and a woman also, both belonging to the vulnerable groups. If the youth and the women are being carried along, the cries and the hues will largely reduce. And so electing me and supporting me to find my way to the House of Representatives, where I have become a strong voice for the women and for the youth, is a step in the right direction. And I'll use this medium to call on the women and the youth of the Southeast to embrace peace. For us mothers, talk to our children, embrace peace. And for the youth like me, fellow youth, let us eschew violence and join our leaders and elders to build a Southeast that will be second to none. We have no other place to call home except Southeast. And without security and peace, there can be no meaningful development. So for me, security comes first, peace comes first, and then economic development and prosperity of the region would follow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's
Dr. Gochukwu Williams.
Let's have an impression of today's program.
Okay, today's program for me is a stepping stone for the Southeast and is a roadmap for economic development and security in the Southeast. Even though I expect the summit to last for 1 week because there's a lot of issues to deliberate on in the Southeast. But today, having it today alone and tomorrow, is more political. We should have a 5-day or 1 week summit where we can bring all agitators and bring all the people who are concerned together and deliberate and have a roadmap for Southeast. Which after a week we can have a blueprint, say this is what we want to do for Southeast, both for security, both for economic development. Southeast should be thinking of having a rail network that will connect the 5 states of the Southeast. Southeast should also be thinking about doing a ring road that will cut across the 5 states of the 5 states to be able to have economic growth within the 5 states. We should be able to start talking about endowment fund for the Southeast. And I expect also the Southeast to also share the Ohanaeze Ndigbo cheering this event more rather than the governors.
What solution will you say? Final solutions in the same city. Solve the problems in South.
Yeah, one of the problems in the South is every one of us that are from the Southeast knows one of the challenges of the Southeast, which is majorly on the security. And when you talk about the security, talk about the agitations in the Southeast. Often every Southeastern I've always looked at, not being included in the activities of the national, and I think that's what has led to the agitation. But I think we must be sincere and be frank to ourselves by inviting our leaders and also let the governors come together and seek a way of freeing Nnamdi Kanu from detention, because that will give that's one of the steps to bring peace in the Southeast, and it's very, very key.
Thank you very much. Thank you. From the Southeast region, gathered in Owerri for the security and economic summit and education is timely. So we want to know what the National Assembly is doing for economic prosperity and security in the Southeast region.
Well, for those of them who don't know, my name is Honorable Eugene Ibiazu. I represent the very good people of Ajebema, Ruta and Oru West. The most important thing is that our governors who are providing direction have done the needful, because before you talk about economic prosperity, there's something that must be on ground first. And that thing that must be on ground is to guarantee security. And once there is security, there is progress. So at the National Assembly too, we are doing the needful to ensure that there is security in the state, security in other parts of the Southeast states. We are equally partnering with our governors in whatever they are doing to ensure that there is security. And once there is security on ground in the southeast economy will improve again, and that's what we're doing. On that note too, we've looked at several options to ensure that security. All those worrying factions, all those worrying areas, like the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, we've addressed it at the National Assembly too. We pleaded with the government in power to see how it will be possible using the political means to release Nnamdi Kanu, so that aspect will be taken care of, because some criminals are hiding under the use of Nnamdi Kanu to perpetrate heinous crime in the area, so that once that is done, nobody again will now say that it is issue of Nnamdi Kanu that is doing one thing or the other, so that they will be clamped down and we ensure that we have security, and then the southeast economy will be.
And now we are back to
that everybody is asking what next. And then when you answer to those questions, is what we are receiving today. The next is that we need to get our priorities right. We need to have a common as to how to reach our zone. We are the first in everything. At the time in this country, you cannot count one without counting service and second. At the point we were vice president in this country, at the point we were senior president in this country, at the time we were chief of army staff, we were DOC, not just we are like AK Machine, you know what it was. And then somebody at the level of military council during the time of the military. And so why are we now from the top to the basement? And don't even think that if there's any that is basement, and that's where we got the answer. So everybody was asking this question. They were asking everybody, they are asking. A lot of people are like, oh, we were not treated much. Think that we are not treated. And if you say that's what it is, we are at the head of our affairs at a point in this country. Remember, somebody from Southeast was financing at the time. We had the education minister at the time. We had, like I said, big staff and all that. So if you say we have this position, so what are you saying? Basically, we've all gotten it wrong. And this summit is trying to get us to the right track. And when you want to correct things that have been done badly by everybody, not just us, you need to come down under one. And so today we have a government. We have a government from Africa. We have a government. And we have two governors from Progressive Party, which is APC. And it's the government that have decided to set things right in this country. And that's what we are seeing today. Because our president, Bola understand that Nigeria is and so he's giving us a level environment. That's why he's actually appointed me as minister. And so that's why we have this environment to be able to think out solutions, because we have a government in effect ready to listen. Listen. That's why he's able to come under one roof, because he has told us that he, Bola Ahmed Asiwaju, is a driver. All the ministers are conductors, and the whole Nigerians are passengers. That's why you see the Southeast have taken the lead. Be able to get everybody inside this bus vehicle or aircraft that is being owned by the President of the Republic. So having said this, we are getting it right, and every governor in the other districts that we are going to solve our problem, starting from ourselves, getting our process together, and then we are going to get at the end of this the roadmap to a new strategy that will also give birth to a new nation under the leadership of Bola Asiwaju Ahmed. Thank you very much. Thank you. Because submit is what it means south. And so whatever resolution that will come out of this summit by the it's like a confirm for South region. That's why you see APC, Labour, traditional rulers, the clergies, both the pastors, everybody's here. And including our old brother.
The most important thing is that one step at a go. The Southeast governors have come together for this economic and security summit. That is about the first time that unanimously agreeing on a common objective. So having done that, you can see the level of participation. Virtually everybody you can think of came from all the sectors you can imagine. So I think so far so good. But the most important thing is that we have to address this issue of security. And I believe sincerely that we are going to seek for political solution on the matter of Nnamdi Kanu. I believe that once Nnamdi Kanu is released from prison, everything about security matter in the Southeast will be rested within some couple of days. And everything will be rested. Because the same people who are now using it, they're now using him as a bait to say release Nnamdi Kanu. So if you release him, then they have nothing again to say.
So this is your position, is it the position of the caucus of
Of course. That's our position.
Distinguished Senator, today Southeast leaders, governors, captains of industry gathered in Owerri for this all-important summit. So we want you to give us, as the DG of Governors Forum, we want to know if you have a perspective, your perspective on this.
Well, if you can remember, Southeast governors sat last 2 months, all of them collectively, and took a decision to have this security and economic summit. That was their decision 2 months ago. And they unanimously agreed to work together as brothers, as stakeholders, and as people with common goal and common problem. And today we have converged in Owerri, where you have all the governors in attendance, you have the technocrats, you have the traditional rulers, you have all professionals, to discuss the issue of security and economy. And there's no way you can talk about economy without addressing the insecurity. So the insecurity in the Southeast has actually come to the forefront, where every Igbo man is interested to have a secure environment so that our business can thrive. I listened to the speakers today, and when you listen to this, that all of them are united in ensuring that we have a very prosperous zone. And prosperous zone cannot happen if you don't have security restored to the southeastern region of the zone, of the country. I am equally happy and delighted as DG. My own is to ensure that our governors have continued to enjoy this consensus, for things to be easy, for us to address our common goals and our common problems and our things that bind us together. And as indeed, we are blessed all around. And if you see the way our economy is being affected, it's been affected because the issue of insecurity has not been attended to. Somebody mentioned about Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu, of course, we all interested to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu comes out. But the criminals have taken over the streets. It's no longer the proper agitation we used to see. People have
the right to agitate. But where criminals are on the street, criminals must be dealt like criminals. So why we are asking that Nnamdi Kanu should be released, at the same time, the governors are also working assiduously to ensure that their states are being rid of all these criminals.
Thank you very much.